Well, I'm here today with Ido Hadari from Hadari Consulting. It's come a long way to join us. Pleasure to have you here at LSI USA 25. Maybe you can share what it is that you're working on today, and then I have a couple questions for you.
Thank you. So first of all, thank you for having me here. It was a long trip, but really it was every minute of the flight and being here. I do two main things. One is consulting Israeli medtech companies on raising money and attracting clients. And the other is bringing small and medium companies, medtech companies, into Israel. Some may think it's a small market, but I have a full list of arguments to say why it's a very attractive market for medtech companies.
So let's talk about the Israeli medtech ecosystem at a high level. And one of the things that I've been in the industry for 25 years, and the impact of Israeli innovation on our industry, it's enormous. It's incredible. The thing that I think surprises a lot of people is the size of the country itself. So approximately 10 million right. in population. And to put that into perspective, we're here in Orange County, Los Angeles County, just north of us. Los Angeles County, a county of California, has a population of 10 million. So how is it that a country so small can have such an impact on the med tech space, on the tech space in general? What is it that drives this Israeli innovation heart and delivery?
I think that it's mainly about people. Like most of the answers start with it's mainly about people, but here it's about the entrepreneurs. That I think we are a bit different because the entrepreneurs in Israel are very creative, but at the same time really run very fast to execution, not wasting time. Sometimes they're running too fast, I must say. So this is the first thing. The second is also about people because they don't work alone. We gather together, and if I get a call from a high school friend, even if we didn't talk 20 years, I will do whatever he asks me to do. And I know he will do the same for me. So we are kind of a network of entrepreneurs. So it's a great power. And I think if you combine them both, you understand that it's a group. Everyone works on his own startup or something, but it's a group. You have whom to consult with, you have whom to get good advice or support. It's a great power. Now, on that, you can add one of the greatest medical systems in the world, and you can add some governmental incentives that are given to the system, which are very helpful. And well, it works, as you say, it works well.
Yeah, and you know, I got to experience firsthand. I had my first trip to Israel with you. What an experience it was to see Israel, and we were there in February of 2024, which was an incredibly challenging time, and it has been and continues to be. But hopefully, we're on the backside of this very difficult time. But you were talking about the resiliency of people and helping each other, and one of the things that I was blown away by was how the community had come together at one of the most difficult times in the history of the nation. What's the situation like today? Are we, is it in the rearview mirror? Do we still have work to do? What is the current situation if I'm an Israeli founder or CEO of a company right now?
We still have a lot of challenges. There are the military or geopolitical challenges that it's a great chapter to talk about. The other one is the internal politics, which are a bit unstable. But if you want to focus on your startup, you can do it. A lot of the CEOs and the senior teams of the startups are also involved deeply in the internal politics in Israel, protesting against or protesting in favor of the government. So you cannot really divide it. But I think that it changed a lot from the time you were in Israel. For the past year, most of the people got back to work, got back to do whatever they do, and it showed a lot of stability. And I think that a lot of investors are going back to investing in Israel, because when you were in Israel February 2024, I guess that a lot of investors even were afraid that a missile will hit the startup that they invested in. And thanks to Iron Dome and a lot of other technologies, we didn't really suffer from missiles hitting residential areas or industrial parks. So the safety of the population stayed pretty good, unlike the event itself of October 7, of course, but afterwards it was pretty good. So talking about de-risking in the eyes of the investor, I think we are already beyond that. Now we really need to get even more stable with our politics and with what's happening with our neighbors.
If you were to, let's play a game here. If we were to look, we had the crystal ball right here, and we could see where two parts, the Israeli medtech ecosystem would be, and then the broader global medtech ecosystem would be in, say, 2030. And by the way, we'll replay this video in 2030 to see how accurate your predictions are. What is your prediction for Israeli innovation and global innovation in our space in particular, in light of all the things that are happening in the world today?
I think that the main forces will still remain and the innovation will still win. I would assume that in the next 5 years we'll see at least, I'll go for 3 unicorns. Founded by Israelis, only in the medical field, it will be 3 unicorns in the next 5 years. Let's see if we will wait 5 years to see if I was right. And I think that more money will be invested in Israel by US entities, and we will start seeing money from Israel invested in US entities. So if I had to choose one word, it will probably be more. We will see even more innovation coming out of Israel in the next 5 years.
Okay. I think that's a great prediction, one that I would support, and we'll replay the video in 5 years and see if either one of us were close to accurate here.
But now we need to hear your gamble on it.
I'm gonna double down on your prediction here. I will say that I have a bit of an unfair advantage because I know some things that are happening right now. I will say that we have an Israeli VC that is here. We have a few Israeli VCs that are here, but one in particular that I think may have taken the most meetings out of any of the investors that are here. Wow. So what does that mean? It means that an Israeli VC is looking at largely, because 70% of the companies here are US-based companies, is looking at US companies to invest in. So I think that was a pretty safe prediction to make, but we'll see how it plays out. In terms of Israeli capital, or funds rather, being invested with a focus for investing in Israeli companies, I think you and I both know that there are some exciting things that are happening soon where that will come to play. Is that new, or have there been funds that are just dedicated to investing in Israeli companies? Or is that an entirely new thing, or is that something that has been going on but we just don't talk as much about?
I think that, I don't know of a fund that decided to invest just in Israel, a foreign fund. But
or maybe a majority in Israeli companies.
That I think you will see. In the last 5-6 years, you will see funds that claiming to invest mainly in Israel. Some of them will be not just in medical, but in other fields or related fields. But now the fact that I feel that in the air, something is changing for the better, and funds that will come up and start investing just in Israel as a declaration and also practicing it, of course, I think that shows that something in Israel is really unique. Now, there's a professor in Stanford, Professor Ilya, and he is posting on LinkedIn a lot of data, mainly macroeconomics. But he also tried to show a world map of unicorns, US unicorns founded by non-US citizens. And he did it by country. So the country that took the first place is India, with 90 unicorns. Wow. Okay. The second country was Israel, with 52 unicorns. Now, India is 150 more times bigger than Israel in the population. The third country actually was Canada, with 32, I think. So even Canada, which is bigger than Israel, was behind us. And Germany, France, UK. So I think that investors are really, they have a good reason to see Israel as a target market for them.
That's a eye-opening stat, and that's news to me. So very interesting. You're a biz dev expert. What are maybe some watch outs or maybe some advice that you would give to companies that are thinking about coming to Israel? What should they be thinking of? What would you guide them on?
I think that like nations have embassies in different countries, if you want to sell in the Israeli market, you have to have someone to represent you or your team, or to hire someone in the country. I would certainly recommend someone from the country itself with no cultural or language barriers. For an American to come and sell in Israel, it will be much harder than for Israeli. Now, the Israeli market is not small. We are just 10 million. But since the healthcare system is so good, if you take 10 million in Israel or 10 million in probably any other country in the world, we will be much more diagnosed if we suffer for something. Our access to healthcare is so good, so if the insurer provider that I am part of or a member in, if he will implement a new technology, the curve of accepting it, the curve of compliance will be great. Mm-hmm. So I see the Israeli market as really attractive for foreign companies, and it's a mistake to think that we are small. Because yes, it's a 10 million, but again, the adoption will be much faster than you can ever think.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Any observations you've had this week? Any standout companies or markets? Anything that excites you that maybe was a surprise for the week?
There's one company that I came with very high expectations and it beat my expectation.
I thought you were going to say it was a disappointment, but I'm glad it'd be here.
Maybe you know this company. The name is LSI. I'm really amazed. Before we started the interview, I told you that if you go to where all the meetings are handled, I thought that now, few hours before this conference ends, there will be already a slowdown. But you can't really find any vacant seat. People are still meeting each other. And you said at the reception that there are 8,000 meetings one-on-one based on the app. What you don't know or you cannot anticipate is probably at least 16,000 more that are held during just walking here or sitting for lunch with someone and just starting to talk. People are very open, people willing to share what they are doing and to hear others. So this is the one company that if you would go on IPO, I would buy the stocks. And regarding technology per se, there were few companies, I won't say the names, but there were few companies that I just hit myself, how come I didn't think about it?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, it is incredible.
And we talked about that before we came in, that the theme, the common theme between all the people, and thank you for the kind words and support, but our success is attributed to my team and to our ecosystem. Executives like you, insiders like you who travel thousands of miles to come and do business, but also try and do something good. And we talked about that. We're all running a business whether we're raising capital, investing capital, acquiring companies, providing services. At the end of the day, what we're doing is we're helping patients live healthier and happier lives. And I think because of that, there is this sort of attitude of collaboration, attitude of trying to help others, and that's what makes the industry special. And we're lucky we get to be a part of it. I'm grateful that I get to connect with good people like you that are doing business and helping companies, and I hope that I'll get to come back to your home to visit Israel again.
You should.
And you're always welcome. You and all of the Israeli innovators, founders, investors, and companies are welcome here at LSI and in the U.S. And we need the work that you do to keep growing and building this industry. So thank you for your service.
Thank you so much for having me. And I think that what you said, if to put it in one sentence, I think that in this industry, we really get two kinds of salaries. One that goes to the bank and one that goes deep into the heart. Mm-hmm. We are helping people. We are healing them or saving their lives. So we enjoy two different salaries, and it's great.
Ido, pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you so much.
Finish this meeting strong, and thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much.
All right. Cheers.
Thank you.